What up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Mostly Plants. Now look at this. Oh, it's kind of windy out, but it's finally starting to get warm out. And I wanted to show y'all the blooms because it is early April in Indianapolis, Indiana. And that's about the time the cherry blossoms start coming out. Now, I was here over the summer visiting from Florida. And my mom was talking about she was trying to get rid of this tree. She didn't know what it was. And I kept looking at it and I'm like, Ma, don't get rid of that tree. That's a cherry blossom. By the time the spring rolls around, it's going to be looking like soccer around here. Something in the prunus genus. There's, I think, over 400 different species in prunus, including cherries, plums, peaches. So I'm not going to even try to guess what. It's not Serratina. I'm not sure what species this is. And you know, I've always had a hard time differentiating between cherry blossoms and plum blossoms, but I got a little cheat sheet for you. So you look at the bark, right? And you see how it's like kind of a gray shade and it has these horizontal kind of notches in it. That's pretty characteristic of cherries. Now, the other thing is, if I can get a good zoom on one of these flowers for you. All right. There we go. All right, check it. Now, let me see. There we go. All right, check it. So here you got characteristic of Rosaceae, which is the family. Oh, come on, Win. Damn. Where's Avatar Aang when you need him? All right, characteristic of the Rosaceae family. You got 5 petals, if my camera will focus. You got 5 petals. You see on the calyx here, we'll do it like this. You see on the calyx here, you got 5 sepals, right? And then, if you look at the stamens, you got numerous stamens in the center here. All right, characteristic of Rosaceae. But then with cherries in particular, you get this little notch on the petals, right? The petals aren't completely ovate. They kind of have a heart-shaped notch in them. So that's how you know the difference between plums and cherries. But they're one of the earlier blossomers, the earlier bloomers, I should say. A lot of other plants around here are still bare, A, and B, don't really flower till later on in the spring, which is why April showers bring May flowers. But cherries like to get the jump on all that. So, yeah. All right, let's keep it moving. Just a quick update, y'all. You know how I said it was finally warming up for good and spring was coming in. Indiana weathered and tripped us up again. It snowed last night and now it's raining, so the snow is melting. So we gonna take a brief interlude and hopefully start filming again tomorrow. So check it. I'm about to get on the road, but I wanted to show y'all real quick. We got this red maple, Acer rubrum, right? And it feels like just a couple videos ago we were talking about leaf abscission, and we were talking about the leaves falling off up here in the Midwest because of the temperatures, but more so because of the reduced photo period. Well, now that the days are getting long again, these hormones in the trees are starting to work, so the trees are aware that it's time to bloom again. But before the leaves come back, actually these maple trees, Acer rubrum in particular, well, maple trees in general, have flowered already. And so you see these little helicopters right here. This is actually the fruit. Okay, now these aren't really gonna mature until June, July, but the seed will get fertilized. Well, it's already been fertilized, and the fruit goes around it. Okay, now all angiosperms have fruit, but we don't necessarily think of things like this as fruit because we don't eat them. But fruit is just the matured ovary of the zygote. So, or the zygote, Lord have mercy. The matured ovary around the seed, you know. With that being said, these maples are actually going to flower before they start to bloom their leaves because wind-driven pollination works better with the trees being bare around here. So that's really all I got, but we're gonna keep it moving.
So as you can see, we got the raised beds on and popping. I helped my grandparents make these raised beds. You know, we cut the wood, burned it, applied some mineral oil, sanded it down, repeated. We got some Roma tomatoes. We got heirloom over there. What else we got over here? Some just tomatoes over here. Hella strawberries over here. We kind of actually had these growing wild. They were volunteered from our last crop. We tearing down those raised beds right now. And then we got a couple vegetables in there. They kind of going through mild transplantation shock, but they're actually on the bounce back right now. When we first planted them, it almost looked like they weren't gonna make it, but my thumb is extra green out here. We got some broccoli, you know, just some eating food, and then some more volunteer tomatoes and stuff. We had to make these gigantic raised beds because the rabbits absolutely demolished our strawberries last year. So yeah, grapes are coming in. They'll be ready in the next few months or so here. You really want to see some wildlife in your yard. Now, personally, I get kind of tired of them because they come in and eat up all the fruit, what they can reach anyway. You want to see some wildlife in your yard, plant some grapes. They be hitting these hard. Oh, and then we had some carrots that volunteered themselves over here. Just some wild carrots growing. Oh man, where'd they go? I think the deer might have got to them, which is cool because they were just volunteers, but man, they disappeared. That's all right. Anyway, let's get to it. Cherry trees busting. Hey Mom, remember when I was here this summer and I said, don't cut this tree down because it might be a cherry tree? Well, what's that?